Yeah.
This is the egg.
Step right up and kiss the egg. 50 cents. We're running a sale right now. It's only a nickel.
And none of your hair falls out.
Step right up, kiss the egg, have your skin lop off.
Welcome to Paranoia. We have many thoughts. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Michael.
And today we're going to talk about the egg.
The egg.
The egg.
The incredible edible egg.
Not that one.
Ah, God.
But the other one.
Okay. I think I know which one you
The crashed egg.
Well, did it crash, though? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Jake might know.
Jake might know. Jake Barber. The man of the hour.
The man of the egg.
The man of 2 hours and like 48 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit too long of a video. News Nation Ross Coulthart interviewed Jake Barber. And they talked about some egg. They talked about some psionic UAP connections and government hidden programs and crash retrievals, and it's like kind of an extension of some of those other whistleblowers and people that are talking to Congress. Just more info. It's all coming out. Little slow drip.
Little drip.
You know,
little
we learned
IV
some
drip.
stuff. Yeah. I feel like the bulk, it could be condensed down to be like, hey, there's UAPs. They're out there. We know it. NHI, non-human intelligence, and they're operated or communicating with people with powerful brains.
Possibly. Well, I mean, he says yes, they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, operated as in, like, us, but not solely.
Yeah. So it sounds like we have big-brained humans. Apparently they're mostly children, gays, and women.
Gay men, women,
and
children. Specifically is what he said. The demographic skews those ways.
The government is harvesting these people willingly.
Harvesting.
Sucking them out of the jungle in third world countries or whatever they said.
Yeah, that part was a little weird.
Well, you know, the U.S. has bad food and chemicals, and we don't have our connection to our powerful brain anymore.
So we're just going to talk about this to start with because you brought it up. But so that part is like, I feel two ways about that part. What, because the whole thing, as he was saying, is like, they were both kind of saying is that there are cultures around the world who live more closely with nature than we do typically, and then by doing that, the percentage of people who would have like this ability or skill set of like being able to connect with like, well, in this case, like the UAP or whatever is higher than like our percentage would generally be or whatever. And like, yeah, that's fine. But also it kind of falls into that trope of like the noble savage, I think is what you call it. Or maybe it's a slightly different trope, but of like it's something I don't understand. It's like mystical. And like by default when it's like, well, I mean, you're kind of just saying that. I don't know. Like, seems like a thing like a guy in your position, like as I was like, Western like would just say like ignorantly about a fucking other culture.
Yeah,
but
I suppose because like all this stuff has a kind of a mystical twist to it, mystical bend.
Yeah, mist twist, if you will.
Mist twist.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Is that starry now or whatever?
I think it might be starry now. Yeah.
Fail. Sierra Mist twist.
See, if they would have spun it as like mystical, I would have been all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just assumed that all of that little magic on your tongue was that.
Ooh, they're dancing. The bubbles are enchanted.
Wow. Yeah. A little seance on my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty goofy. Because, like, okay. Preface, I guess, or just more explain.
Yeah.
People with psionic, as he called it, abilities.
Yeah, the word they're
psychical
using.
abilities,
Yeah.
to basically telepathically link with alien craft.
Yeah.
UAPs.
Alien. Yeah. NHI.
NHI, the mysterious craft in the sky. So communicating with them telepathically, somewhat controlling them, it sounds like. Maybe they're just reproduction vehicles that are being controlled. Something.
Yeah.
You know, you can summon them somehow.
Apparently. Yeah, call them. Which is yeah.
Yeah, beckon.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, sorry, go on.
So these gifted folks, they just have this ability to do this, and that they tend to be in more primitive settings than we have in our Western world. And yeah, like you were saying, it seems pretty goofy the way he was explaining the reason why we don't in more developed nations is because of like our food and our like I don't know if he said pollution or something like that. Like it's our environment that's dulling down our psychical abilities.
I thought he was gonna, and maybe he would. And also, I'm not saying there's not some truth to some of this stuff, but I thought he was gonna go full like, you calcinated pineal glands, all the fluoride. It's like I thought I was like, oh, is he gonna like go in about like the process?
No, he stopped.
I know, and I was like, well, okay, all right.
Yeah, he just said a one-liner about it, and we're
Yeah.
just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How about a little bit more? Come on. Like,
Yeah,
is
we
it
got.
is it the like the
It's the red 40
what's that?
dye. It's yellow 6.
Yeah.
It's
Yellow 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
It's making me sterile. This was sweet, sweet Mountain Dew.
Oh, I need it to be neon puke green so that way I can love it.
Connect with this can.
You are
Yeah, like
kissing it,
give
but
us
yeah.
a little more.
I mean, you are
do
kissing
love
it. I mean,
That's true. Little. I give it a little.
little
when I'm done.
smoocheroo.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he would go more into that, explain a little more. Like, is it like the technology waves that are given off that kind of
'Cause
interfere with brain
yeah.
waves?
Yeah.
You know. But anywho, so there's this whole government program, or many programs, or even private industry sort of entities that are gathering these people for, I don't think he really explained exactly why, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
but somehow harnessing this stuff in the sky. And interesting. I never really heard about, I've heard about experiments in the past about telepathy and telekinesis and stuff that the government was involved with, but I haven't heard this link to the UFO stuff before.
Yeah, the stuff, and they did mention this first one, but like the what's his first name? Stephen?
Jake?
Greer?
Oh yeah. Doctor?
Yeah, is his name Steve? What's his first name?
Yeah.
Because like that stuff I've heard about for a long time, like the CE5, where like you go out and you like get with people and you basically meditate to like make contact. So like that part, I was like, oh, it's kind of like that. And then he says like, yeah, it's kind of like that. We just don't call it that, and we do it differently. Or he doesn't, because he's not one of the psionic guys, Jake Barber.
But he's got some tendencies.
But he does. Then like that new group he started and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I guess in that regard, I was like, oh, kind of like that. And then I've heard like other things that are a little more out there that are also kind of the same, which is like, yeah, there you can talk to the craft and you can do stuff like more like individual accounts, I guess, of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think and like what's that one guy who's really popular? Wow, his name's escaping me, but he does like a similar thing. What is his name? Idea. Wow, it doesn't matter. Fill in the blank, you'll figure it out. The guy who's Chris Bledsoe.
If you can think of one, is that it?
Yeah.
Bledsoe?
It's like BLEDS Bledsoe or something. I don't know that much about him, but I know him and like his family had a bunch of experiences, and him in particular, but I think he also has like a thing where it's like more spiritual for him and his experience with contacting stuff. And also too, that blurs, I mean, all of this does blur the line too of like spirituality. It's like, well, were you know, you could, it's like, what flavor is it, and is your flavor real, or are you imagining the taste of the LaCroix and like it's really not flavored at all? Like,
yeah, because like Jake, I always want to say from State Farm.
We're poisoned by advertising.
Yeah. He found an egg. He went on this retrieval mission.
Okay, wait, hold on. I know we're not going to explain because we're bad at that, but Jake Barber, his whole thing is basically he's a helicopter pilot, and what he does is like basically what retrieval missions, like he just flies for like an independently hired, and we'll just go pick up stuff and drop it off or do whatever with like a team. That's like his whole thing.
And so he finds an egg, a big porcelain egg or whatever, shiny white, pearly white on the ground, middle of the night. It's all white. It's all right.
I was wondering.
I was trying. I was reaching for another one. He grabs it with a claw and he picks it up.
It's not a claw.
And then, what is it?
He talks about how like he called it a specific. There was a word for it where it was like it's like a harness thing they wrap around it, and he made it sound like there's another team that goes there first to do that, or maybe that was with that was with the 8 gone, but. There, he talked about like a specific thing. He had a name for whatever it was. Yeah.
A little harness.
Yeah, but yeah.
So he picks it up, and then, I don't know when, but during that encounter, he has this overwhelming sort of experience.
I think that is the 8 gone.
Was it?
Yeah. I think the egg one was not... I'm pretty sure the 8 gone is the one where he had that like spiritual experience.
Okay. So let's talk about the spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Because, so, something happens. He feels this feminine energy or something, loving, tender, something.
Like his mother, like his daughter.
Loving sense. Yeah. So that kind of indicates some sort of psychic link happening there. And he reaches towards the spiritual kind of as an explanation.
Yeah.
And I guess, what you were saying, what flavor. So like, how do you know that that's a spiritual thing? Like it could just be a thing of the mind, but it's very powerful. It's something new you've never had.
Yeah.
But then the kind of rest of the conversation was more in a spiritual lens around that kind of stuff. So kind of interesting.
Well, and I would say too, like we don't know what spirituality is in like a hard definition type of way anyway. So it's like, what if it is just if you're interacting with it, it's got to be some part of you that's interacting with it. So maybe it is brain stuff.
Well, like if you have like a really nice moment or something in your life with a loved one or something, and you have this whole wave of loving emotion feeling wash over you, that would be the same sort of thing in my view.
Yeah.
And whether that's like a spiritual thing or like just a brain chemistry thing,
or both,
could be both.
Doesn't have to be
because we don't really have a grasp on that kind of spiritual stuff. We don't have
an
explanation for it.
Yeah.
We always have religions and stuff to try to talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's hard to prove.
No.
Just listen to a few people, they'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. People will tell you.
I don't know what else I was going to say about that. But
No, I'm sorry. But they kept talking about spirituality kind of, especially after that.
he mentioned vibrations at least once.
Yeah. I know when they were talking about psionics, he talked about if you want to see stuff, you're better off to have like a channel like loving energy, he said, like to be able to like witness stuff. And that's like the Chris Bledsoe. And I think like the CE5 stuff too is that like you got to be like, open to it and you got to be welcoming and like having that energy in your energy, disposition, whatever. And then he said, yeah, that like someone in the group who doesn't could like ruin the vibe of that, like can kind of spoil it and make it harder to call upon the sylphs or whatever.
And what does that say about the thing that they're contacting? Like, that kind of goes with Woody Derenberger. He's like these aliens. They're so loving. They're so great. Yep. They're so nice. They don't want anything naughty,
That's true.
But is it just certain types? Just certain types of nice guys?
I mean, I feel like that would... I mean, obviously we don't know. We're speculating here.
We're getting somewhere, though.
We're getting somewhere. But yeah, I wonder about that, too, because when you talk about... I feel like no, because it is both, actually. I was going to say there might be a tendency towards thinking that if something is like beyond our understanding or is better or higher spirit, like all these words to say like ascended from outside of us, that it's like we assume that it has to be like good. But then I was like, well, there's tons of religion and stuff. It's like, no, there's deities that trick and do all this stuff all the time, and there's whatever. So it is both, but maybe more, I feel like maybe just in our culture, it tends toward like that light and love type stuff as like a default of like what it would be when like, why would it have to just be that? Like,
unless you're just channeling those nice ones. And I don't know, it's kind of odd because I guess, I mean, how many real encounters are documented where there's like been serious hostile sort of encounters?
Apparently more than I thought.
Really?
Recently, I haven't looked into it hard enough, but apparently there was like a book, I have to find out where I heard this, but there was like someone like particularly gets accounts of people who've like died or like had like serious and I was like, I'd never really heard much about that. I want to know more. So I don't know very much about it, but just to say that I had heard this recently, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, if they wanted to, they could just freaking they could glass whatever they want.
Nice sand you got here. It'd be a shame if it was glass.
A nice smooth pane of glass. Yeah. So you just gotta channel your higher being. And there's a whole bunch of lessons in there. You gotta be a good person. You gotta think good thoughts, and then the angels come.
I mean, that's one way to. That's one flavor you would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is interesting. So, okay, you're calling these things. I don't think he talked... So basically, from what I remember, he basically just talked about how, at least from our point of view, the psionics teams who are out there doing the blindfold work or whatever, they go out there and they're like, okay, I'm either going to hijack this craft and be a terrorist... or they're chill with it and they love me taking control of their craft, or maybe it's a thing. Well, I think he also said some are craft and some aren't. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's like, talked about how like so I'm assuming like what plasma orbs. What are you? But anyway, to finish that thought is like, I really think he only talked about like you can kind of coax them out sometimes, summon them, you can kind of pilot them, kind of sometimes control them, and that's it. Like, and then I think the interviewer Ross asked him about like, what do people who do this, what do they like feel when they connect? Do they learn anything? Do they like? And I think he just basically like, I just feel something, or maybe he didn't answer. I can't remember. But
yeah, I'm wondering like, are they tapping into like a VR headset? Like, are they getting
like sensory data? Like, I'd be curious to know more about it. And like too, because if you think you'd connect, like I understand that. Again, speaking of it like a more spiritual sense, it could be something like ineffable. Like if you connect or make contact with like a spirit or deity or entity or something, like it might not be something you can put back into words, because at that point your experience is outside of like what is explainable or like, in our language.
Yeah.
So I could understand that. But at the same time, if you're telling me you're piloting it though, I think you have like other information going on, because that tells me you're still
deep.
Yeah, because that tells me you're still like here focused on the real world at the same time. If you're like literally controlling it, like say you're like, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do a figure 8 because that's fun, and then I'm gonna go land or something. Well, okay, well then, yeah, do you see anything in your mind's eye? Do you like hear any? Yeah, like.
Yeah, what's it like?
Yeah, what does it feel like?
And how do you keep that quiet? Because there's probably not just like a couple people that are doing this.
There's got
to have people. There's got to be like dozens.
Yeah.
And this has never come out before, and now we just have this like 8th hand sort of information.
Yeah.
From this guy, and he's just alluding to these programs, or it's interesting. And he is bringing up quite a bit of like private, like paramilitary, like private organizations, which is interesting because how do you just let that slide? It seems like they're getting more power than like the governments that hold them in some sort of way.
Oh, was it him that talked about this? Because I was also listening to a different interview with, what's his name? Lou Elizondo. I've never really heard him talk more than at that hearing. So maybe I'm conflating this. But so regardless of who it was, they were talking about that like, the government uses entities like that because they can operate outside of like bounds that whatever, and so like they'll choose to do it for the express purpose that they can do more almost on the books, or not by the books, but like your hands
You're not
would
restricted by the U.S. law or whatever that the government has to follow.
I mean, sure, they have to follow
something.
It. Yeah. Which is like, well, okay, that makes sense, but also, so that you're still then giving that power out though to a third. I mean, I guess it can do it all the time, but I don't know.
Some kind of partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we do that with regular stuff. Like we've done that for like military operations.
Yeah.
They just hire mercenaries to go do something, and then
just
it's
go
like, we're
kill.
not actually a war.
Hey, hey. No. These are not. These are not troops. No. They're hired arms, guns. It's fine.
We barely killed that foreign president.
Oh my God, we didn't. Whatever. You still bringing that up? Get over it, man.
Just one slip up for decades.
So annoying.
I don't even have any specific examples, but we're just saying it. I don't know.
Well, whatever. Yeah, see, we're being vague because we don't know. Who knows? I'm not making any accusations here. We're just hypothesizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NHI confirmed.
He also very, very much was like 100% non-human
he did
intelligence.
Say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at one point the word aliens was brought up. seemingly sort of unprompted by Ross. And Jake said yes.
He did. I think he got pushed a little bit to say it, but
yeah, he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
He was pretty good around skirting around other things, so he didn't have to say that.
That's true, which is funny because then it's like, well, how much? Assuming like what he's saying is like true, right? Or what he knows, he's heard is true, whatever. That because he also then you wouldn't be a baby about saying alien. NHI is like vaguer, and I get that because I could understand why. Like, again, you get a demon, you got a spirit on the wind you're talking to. Well, it's not technically an alien; it's just another thing. But then, also saying alien, so it's like, so it's both. So you're saying there's a multitude of things happening, right?
And then Ross even mentioned extraterrestrial. And I think Jake didn't even say yes to that. He's like, well, I don't really know that they're off-world. It's like, what's an alien then?
What does he mean by alien? Because, like, the colloquial way we would say is like out of Earth, like out from beyond Earth.
Right. Alienated from this planet.
Our plane of existence, yeah.
Right.
Alien just as like a stranger.
Biologics, a lot of terms thrown around. And he talked about meat craft.
That was funny. I liked that. Yeah.
Flying
meat robots.
Flying steak robot.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, he was talking about
porterhouse.
Lab-grown biological like meat.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't know if it's that. Like, why are you just saying that? Like, if you don't know if it's something, why are you throwing those specific words in there?
You see, I don't see. It could be like a craft, or it could be lab-grown meat in the sky. I don't know. Like, well, okay, but I've actually never heard that one specifically, so that's fun.
Add it to the list.
I've heard that UAP and craft can be alive, but not that they were like lab-grown meat machines. Like,
how cool is that?
It's kind of fun. It's like, you remember Micro Machines, like that, but it's meat machines, and it's like horror. It's like body horror. There's like carcasses of people stuffed in the cars and junk.
Oh yeah, it's like the protomolecule from Expanse. Yeah. Just repurposing all that meat.
Good, give me that meat.
Just, you're done with it. I'll take that. Yeah. And Babylon 5 had those alive alien craft things.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I want to say the Reapers in Mass Effect. So it's out there.
So
the idea's out there.
The idea's floating around. That means it's true.
Make it a reality.
Hey, if it's in TV, movie, real.
Okay. What if they've been harvesting all these psionic people and making these craft
out of their mangled fucking bodies?
Yeah.
That would be... I mean, that would be horrible.
But
how sinister can I sound? But it'd be a fun story.
Yeah,
like a horror.
I'd read about it.
Yeah. Make that you could make a horror movie out of that. It's a little weird, but you could do it.
Meat machines.
Yeah.
2025.
2025. Yeah, you harvest. Okay, you got good brains in you. You got a nice flavor of brain. We're not going to eat the brain, maybe.
Lime.
So we're going to take the brain. We're going to like this. And we're going to
stretch them all out.
We're going to stretch it all out and mix it like ground beef with your other meat. And probably get rid of your bones, I think. Don't eat your eyes. And then we're going to get that in there, get those neurons all mixed in with the good muscle meat, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to shape you into a fun little patty. And then we're going to throw you up in the sky.
Push you off out of the bird's nest.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, get up there in the great grill in the sky.
What if there's just a psionic brain in a vat in the center of the craft, and that is what's controlling it?
I would be disappointed if it's in a vat. You know what I mean?
Why?
Like it has. I want it to be like fully connected. Like unless it has like a little chair or something.
Connected with wires, is that better?
I was like,
A bunch
I
of
want like
wires
meat.
connected
I
right
want
in there?
meat wires. If he's talking meat, I want it all like synapses. Like no, like
Yeah.
maybe not any
That-
machinery
yeah.
at all.
Yeah. How fast? Yeah. Okay. Well, what if you need both? Because
He might, yeah.
Because our little meat bodies are they're less efficient than like a copper wire, probably
Oh.
sending impulses and stuff.
Are they? Their brains
know.
fire pretty quick. I don't know.
Pretty quick, but like a cat's is quicker. You ever seen a cat's reflexes?
Okay, so we got to mix in some other animals. Chimera meat machines.
Oh man, what if they are mixed with cat because they're so skittish?
Yeah, that's why you can't call them. You gotta be like, come on. You
Yeah.
gotta like gain their
They
trust.
can't fucking train them.
Yeah, that could make
But
sense.
I've seen cats do tricks though. So some of them can be trained. Some of them can be. This is how they do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
They
just the cool little chill cats. They got their little brain treats. You're sending them, and they come on over.
So you're telling me that they get that guy who has the fun hair and sideburns or whatever, and he's the cat guy, or he's bald, but he has like,
Oh yeah,
and he goes in there and he like gets them out of the sky. He's a psionic
Yeah.
lead, like team lead.
yeah. That TV show he does is just a front.
Yeah,
He's siphoning all that money into the
it's dark.
cat meat vehicle
programs.
program. CVP. CMVP.
CMVP. Okay, so we got meat hovering in the sky, but we also got a bunch of yolk. We got yolks up there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Jostling around in the perfect Earth's perfect shape, the egg. Okay, his interaction with the egg. I feel like the egg was. I think it's just like the way, because he called it an egg. I think it got the most attention rather than like the 8 gone, because that doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Octagon, pal. Octagon.
We have
It's
a
not
word
harder.
for this, sir. Like, are you scared of Roman or whatever it is? Octa? Like, hepta? You don't like these? Like, what's the problem? Quad? You don't like the 4? It's a 4 square. I don't know.
It's a foregone conclusion. Nice.
Thank you. I know what you mean. When he picked up the egg, was it soft-boiled? Hard-boiled?
Medium.
Yeah, I think that one he said like nothing really happened. I'm pretty sure that's the one where like nothing. He's picked it up, moved it, but then that video came out that wasn't his. It was some other video or whatever. Reportedly, who knows? He could have been his. Where they did pick up like a little egg-looking thing on the ground, and then some people were like, "Does it have like writing on it? Like are those things like scribbled on the sides of it or whatever?" Why would they rewrite it? Why like?
I mean, you've seen like World War II fighter jets.
Yeah.
They got those little like hula girls, and they got stuff painted on them.
That's true. Yeah, they have Betty Boop on the side of them, and she's not like that. Not like in the cartoons. Like
Dropping bombs in Vietnams or whatever. Yeah, so they could have a little fun.
see, okay, but then what I was thinking was, yeah, you got writing on it because these are like sigils, and this is magic, and like, so you're like, you know, this is like a talisman. You like you're purposefully putting stuff on, not like we do for silly bombing women cartoons, whatever. That's not the right order that was supposed to come out of my mouth in, but Yeah, what if it's more fun? And by more fun, I mean more like magic.
Magic rituals.
Like,
You might be onto something.
either a ritual or just like, again, magic, spirituality, whatever. It's just a part of life, and other things just harness it because they understand it better. Maybe. That'd be fun.
I like how he talked about it. He's like, this for sure is an alien craft, or this for sure is a extra, like,
Yeah.
terrestrial craft, something. But like, he's going basically just off its visuals.
Yes.
Like, I've never seen anything like this. And then Ross is asking him, well, did it have seams? Could you see any propulsion?
No.
Like, he's not down there. What do you mean?
He's
not up close.
He's 150 feet away, he says.
Because he's a helicopter
He's got the
pilot.
rope or whatever, and it's how long the rope is.
Yeah. And it's at night. He's wearing his night vision goggles.
He looked
Or
both.
whatever.
He looked, you know.
He's doing the thing like a professor in his glasses. He's looking up and down.
Yep.
And it's not flying.
No.
You wouldn't see necessarily propulsion. I mean, you
Right.
could see like a jet's like
I guess, yeah.
things on the back or whatever. You could see that. But like, it's just a little guy.
It's just a little guy.
Unless he was talking to the ground crew that had strapped it in.
And maybe he did, yeah.
I guess there's a hole in my thought there.
But, whatever. We're going to move past that. Yeah, no, there's no holes. I just looked, but, so then he also mentioned, like, I think early on in the interview, where he's like, yeah, I've seen it, like, come out of the ground. And like, Ross was not fazed by that as much as I think he should have been. Like, okay, when you say they have trans-medium craft and someone says it can go in the water and from the water to the sky, that is pretty nuts. Like, we kind of get that's nuts. And then the guy's like, yeah, I've seen it come out of the ground. And you're like, wow. What do you fucking mean if it came out of the fucking ground? Like, do you know how the ground works? Like,
Pretty hard.
like, I think that I just thought it was so weird. I don't think he had much of a reaction. I'm like, what? But then Jake did say, he's like, well, that's what it appeared like. So he's like, so maybe it just looked like that's what was happening. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, you know, trick.
You got out of this one. Yeah, Ross seemed to have all of the information already. Like, he had it somehow.
Yeah.
Or maybe they talked for a long time and then they didn't, because the interview was kind of awkward and awkwardly paced, and he kept repeating stuff, and then like he would just come up with his own information, and then Jake would, yes sir, that's correct, and then they wouldn't elaborate anymore on certain things.
Yeah, that's true. I would say, though, not that I know, but I think it would be a good idea to repeat yourself as like an interviewer, because you want to see if someone's going to say something exactly. If you phrase it a little differently, you're like, oh, okay, well, what about this? Be sneaky about it,
Yeah, sneaking the aliens word.
Yeah, but what about extra shit? I mean, what if it was like what's the ET knockoff? Mac and Me. What if it's like Mac and Me?
What?
A movie I've never seen.
Oh, like E.T. the movie?
Yeah, but there's
a knockoff of that.
There's another version. It's like Mac and Me. Yeah,
That's cool.
From before I was born.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's like mac and cheese, but an alien.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of. Mac and meat.
Yeah, mac and meat machine. I have to abduct this kid into my mac and cheese belly so I can become the flying ship, go back to my home planet.
It's like a knockoff of Hamburger Helper, Mac and Meat.
Yeah, you gotta but it's the same kind of idea where like you cram a human corpse into like a machine, you cram a human corpse into that glove to animate it.
And that's where the face comes from.
Yeah, it's like it's trying to get out so bad that it's like it forms a face to scream,
5 Nights at Hamburger Helper. What's that guy's name? I'm sure that... Sorry, you're going to hear some clicking here.
The Hamburger Helper Glove?
Hamburg.
Glove.
How do you spell it?
Handburger helper.
His name is Lefty. Or the helping hand.
Wait, what's the name of the thing for the alien from Parasite? Is it left or right? What's Miggy?
Is it his right hand?
What's Miggy? I don't remember. Is it left or right in Japanese? I can't remember. Because if it's left,
it's his right hand.
No?
Is it? Yeah, it's his right hand.
Or, okay, so now I'm concocting a little story about that's the right hand and hamburger's the left hand. Handburger. That's what I'm going to call him.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
Is there a connection
between
these two fictional characters?
Signs are pointing to yes, I think, in my head. Yeah, so then the other part that Jake was talking about was like they went and did a mission they had to get these high value targets, which were laptops or something, some specific type of laptop. And he's like,
books.
Tough books. And there's like a whole debacle. He was like, this made me distrust this whole process I've worked in. It's like, yeah, you're doing like contract work for like shit and not getting it. I don't know. Just to me, I was like, it seems like this would have happened sooner. It seems like you would have had like little bungles like this before.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, oh, you're not told a whole lot and you're just going on this thing where you know the very basic information that you need to go perform the operation, and now you're weirded out.
Right, yeah. I don't know. Again, I've never done anything like that in my life and never will, but
there's still time.
I mean, I've flown a helicopter in like GTA, so there's that.
Did you recover the HVT?
Well, yeah, you could say I did. If the high value targets were the friends we made along the way. But I thought that was interesting. And then his whole thing was like, okay, that happened. Distrust, whatever. And then basically what he say? He talked to some like high ups and one of the partners or whatever that he worked with. And then he was like, well, and then I just went to Congress. And I'm like, is that, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just thought it was like a little strange that like, wow.
I don't know about that part, but it reminded me of, he was talking about how they retrieved some craft, and it was like he got exposed to a high dose of radiation, got really sick, so nobody really knew what the thing was that they were getting. Yeah. He said none of the higher ups knew anything, but then he went and talked to one of the higher ups, and apparently he knew everything, but then didn't know everything. So it's like kind of inconsistent. It's like, okay, so
because
who knows what's
Tyler,
going on?
you got the shoulder, and there are people in the shoulder, and then and I was like, I know why they cut this from that shorter interview. Yeah.
Funny. What was I going to say? I was getting kind of weird vibes by the kind of throughout, but he kept talking about how he's starting this team. He's starting this new team.
Yeah, Skywatchers.
I
saved a video for later of him, I think, talking about it or something.
And it just feels like a pitch. Like,
I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, come fund me.
We're gonna go do this cool shit. They already have venture capital. They're backed by venture capital.
Yeah.
He said that like it was something I should be like, oh wow, oh that's incredible. I don't give a shit.
You're funded by people who bet against the market and do a lot of shady shit to make a bunch of money and think a bunch of shit. So nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, man.
Cool.
I mean, I think his point was just that it was like not tied to the government or funded by whatever, which fair, but yeah, I was like, whatever. Yeah, it is like a pitch. Like it's just a pitch for his thing. But I wonder, like, what does he get out of that pitch? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he gets to do a lot of cool stuff. And
yeah,
it feels like there's a level to, like there's the crackpot conspiracy theorist, there's the Stephen Greer, and then there's the guys who are actually like doing the military operations and the people in control.
Yeah.
And he's at that sort of in between, and he wants to be that top guy that goes and gets the stuff and ran out of juice in my throat. He wants to have access to that cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's real or not.
I mean, is he going to get access to it? I mean, like...
I guess what I was going to say before I choked was he wants to have those secrets.
True. Well, apparently he has some, but... Or, you know, whatever, if what he's been told is... He has... Again, provided the things he says is true, which I guess we just, it should be clear we're just kind of taking that stance to talk about it. He has some of that. You picked up a fucking egg. You've seen, like, each craft and shit. Like, you have information no one else has, bud. Like...
Yeah. How many more eggs do you want?
Yeah. I don't even make a fucking omelet.
Crack a few eggs.
Yeah, I gotta crack a few crackpot eggs, make omelet. Where, like, what are people, I don't know, like, what are they, again, the thing about, like, what's he gonna do? So, he's, like, pitching it to the public. Why? What's the public gonna do? Give you money? Are you gonna sell subscriptions to view the stuff you...
Maybe it's just to get hype, so now people see it. And now the venture capital firm feels like they can invest, so they won't lose all their money.
That is very true, actually. I bet. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's on News Nation, which is a totally legitimate news site and video platform. So
it's news in the name, and he talks to people. And look, they had B-roll and stuff like news does. They made him go out in the Jeeps in the short interview and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They did some work. I don't know.
I was also thinking too, like the way he talks about like the spiritual stuff and all that kind of stuff, you typically associate with someone who's like, well, I don't want to be a crackpot, but like, it's just like the average person who's interested in, not mine, but you know, the average person who just likes kind of the mystic stuff and plays around with a little magic and here and there and that kind of thing. He's interested in that, but also he's kind of like a serious person.
Yeah.
So, and now he's trying to like go do it more seriously. And that's like interesting. That's kind of cool.
It is interesting.
Because you want people who have access to things to like take that stuff seriously.
Yeah, very true. Like, having someone with skills, like skill sets that are like his or whatever, but then also that interest and that other drive to use those skills for that end is interesting.
Yeah. Give us more egg.
Well, I know. And like, I wonder too, like, he's like very confident that they're going to have stuff. Well, I mean, Cass says they already do. Well, he did. He showed it in that short interview. There was like a video that his team took. Of an egg, but yeah, it was just interesting. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna have stuff," which is just funny because if you remember in those hearings they were talking about, or that one guy from NASA was like, "We need like specialized instruments to like better get this data and stuff," and like that could be true, but then it's funny that this guy's like, "No, we just go get it." Like, we're just gonna go get it with the shit we have. I don't know.
Yeah, could just be like talking some shit about how he's gonna just go do it.
True.
When he actually has no plan. Who knows?
He's probably got a plan. Jake Barber, he's got a plan.
Jake Barber. Ross said he was there at one thing where they summoned Kraft.
Yeah, he did. He said he saw it, something, whatever.
So maybe he has his own little harvested psionic children in his in his organization.
I mean, maybe. And look, I'm not trying to throw this out there to you right now, but what if we did a little bit of, what if we tried to summon something in the sky sometime? It'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
If I can cram love into this cold cavity, maybe it could work.
I'll just hug you really hard.
That'd be good.
That'll give you a little bit.
Yeah, hug the love right in there. Get fucking squeezed, idiot.
Squeeze it in there.
You're gonna learn.
Learn to love me, boy.
But yeah, just because that you mentioned that, it's they just went out there and fucking, because that's what the CE5 stuff and the Bledsoe shit. They're just yeah, you can just go out and do it, kind of. It's not always that easy, but apparently you can just go do it.
Yeah, just make sure you're standing under an airport. Every once in a while, you'll see something.
Oh, whoa. Is that a blinking light moving at a normal pace? That's crazy.
Landing over there, and then another one going over there. Hey, speaking of eggs, did you hear about the egg heist?
I don't know if you're being serious, but either way, no.
Oh, I'm being serious.
Egg heist?
This is just a throwaway 1 minute thing, but I just got home and I was looking at my phone, and somebody stole 100,000 eggs in Pennsylvania.
From where? The egg factory?
I don't know. 100,000 organic eggs. $400,000 worth of egg.
How many Oh, it's going to jack the egg prices up even more. What am I going to do if I can't buy eggs? Oh, I'm going to starve if I can't eat my fucking eggs.
$40,000 worth of eggs. I was like, wait, $4 an egg? Those are good eggs.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The egg prices are, geez, highway robbery.
My omelet costs $40.
I'm sorry. I just think it's a dumb thing. Hey, egg prices are who fucking eats that many eggs? There's other stuff you can eat. I don't know. What do you want?
Damn it, Michael. People need their eggs.
Yeah, they're good. I like eggs, but
well, you don't like them enough.
I don't. No, I don't like them enough. I don't buy them very often. What?
You don't eat 5 a day?
5? If I'm feeling like I need a little, pick me up.
5 a year? How many eggs a year you got?
I haven't bought eggs in a long time, but
what's your egg record?
Egg record of how little or how many?
Just the record.
Record. It's on. Well, I think it's actually sitting on the vinyl player now. I could go, I don't know, spin a track if you want.
Would you buy a record just because it has an egg on it?
I thought you were going to say just because it was compressed from hard-boiled eggs.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get any record, you just see it in the store for $30, and it just says it's a big egg on it. Would you buy that? We don't know what it is.
I feel like it'd be like a children's
What if it's a nice, icy blue, well-made, one of those nice ones you like to buy from your new band that made re-release something, it's like a new press.
Yeah, it's fun looking.
And then it's got an egg on there.
I mean, it would be tempting. It'd also be tempting if they made it look like an egg. It was clear and whitish, but in the middle it was yellow. The yolk.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, that'd look cool anyway.
Can you make fat records?
Thick? Thicker. Well, they're different thicknesses, yeah.
Because you could preserve an egg in there. It'd have to be pretty.
You could put anything in there.
Yeah.
You could put anything in there. Do you understand?
I'm starting to.
You understand what you've done? I wonder how well the vinyl would keep in material over time as a container.
Just long enough.
Long enough to spill. Shoot. I got everywhere.
The yolk got in my fucking record player.
My yolk, no. I
would buy it.
If you just eat egg whites, what do you do with the yolks?
Throw them away.
It's a waste.
You can make a mayonnaise or something. Or hollandaise. Something. You can make a thing with it.
Well, why would you make a thing with it if you didn't want to eat it in the first place?
Well, you do. Okay, you make a 3 egg white omelet, like a freak, and then you take the yolks and you mix them together with. You just fucking whisk them.
I guess I was thinking more for like a health reason and not like a taste or specific dish reason.
A little dollop of a mayo or something.
Yeah, I'm going to take these egg yolks out because egg yolks are bad, but then I'm going to mash them up and put them in mayo and eat it later anyway.
But it's just a little bit.
Just a little bit at a time.
Yeah,
a little bit. That's true.
A little bit of that sweet yellow.
I thought there was going to be another word after that.
Nope.
Yeah. What kind of yolk does the cosmic eggs have? Those ones in the sky? Blood, I guess, if they're meat machines, but...
Dark matter.
Yeah, dark matter. I don't know the word for those little egg holders for soft-boiled eggs. Or not soft-boiled. Yeah. You crack. You put in a little thing and you, like, eat with a spoon. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Are those soft-boiled? Nope. What are those called? There's these little holders you put an egg on. And you, like, cook the egg a particular way. And you, like, take the top off the egg and you eat the egg out of it. You eat the egg out of it, the eggshell.
I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Anyway. Boy, these eggs have got me, boy. Hungry egg, boy.
Oh, I love eggs.
They're good. I like eggs. I just don't buy them.
Slurp them down.
I don't slurp them. What's your go-to egg cooked method? Like if they're like...
Oh, if I'm going to go out, because I feel like that's the test. Like you're going to go out to a restaurant because you have to pick one.
Yeah, you got to pick an egg.
Because my mood changes when I'm at home. You know, like, okay, I just want a little scramby. I just want a little... I do a fried egg if I want a sandwich. But if I'm going to go to a restaurant, my most often ordered breakfast egg is omelet.
I don't know what that means.
Omelet?
Omelet, okay. I thought it was like some style I was not familiar with.
Yeah, it's an omelet.
Yeah, I had a good omelet last year. Maybe it was last year, but...
Like late last year? Like early part of last year? Like a year ago? Or like 3 months ago?
It was like August? July, August. Okay. I think is when I had an omelet.
A half a year without an omelet?
Well, an omelet, yeah. I have an egg since then, but...
Okay.
Yeah, see, I've never been an omelet guy, but that's why I got one. Because I'm like, I should get an omelet. I never get omelets. It was good.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about, I've had this thought a couple times, but like, what's interesting about breakfast, we go to a restaurant, it's always the same stuff. People are just throwing like whole ingredients into stuff, and you only do a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, but it's just egg.
Just egg.
It's just about the technique. It's just about a little bit of butter or something.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't use that fucking sproy oil.
Sproyola.
So it tastes like you're eating the pan. But it's just about technique, and that's kind of neat.
It is cool. Like, I always appreciate my parents' egg technique, which is you put water in the pan, like, and you make them so they don't get, like, that crust on them at all. They're, like, kind of half steamed almost. Mm-hmm. See, I don't love that little crust. Again, probably because I grew up with them making eggs mostly like that anyway. But, yeah. I also like slippery little eggs, though. Poached egg. I really like a poached egg. That's how I would usually make eggs, because I'd eat them with like rice and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much experience with a poach.
It's easy. It's so easy.
Not a poacher. I know. I just don't.
Well, yeah.
We make ramen sometimes at home. A little nice soft-boiled egg right in the middle. Oh, man.
See, that's why I like poached egg, because it's easier than a soft-boiled egg.
Yeah, we have it down now. It's like 7 minutes. Throw it in an ice bath. It does it pretty good 99% of the time.
I think, yeah, I just like would always mess it up enough to where like trying to get the little devil out of there was just a real annoyance.
Yep.
Fuck this, I'm just going to poach them.
I really hate hard-boiled eggs.
Making
just
them?
eating a fucking fart.
I like hard-boiled eggs quite a lot.
Oh, it's just eating a fart.
Nah. Just douse it with pepper.
Yeah.
Just blackened, just with pepper. Just crazy.
I like to psychically charge my egg.
You would
before
love.
I eat them.
Yeah. You're just you're like big recycling your own love in your body.
Nice neutral energy.
Neutral. I want you to taste nothing. I want the energy I taste to be nothing.
I don't want it to take anything from me, and I don't want it to give me anything. Do you know?
I mean, that's fair, but then I think you can just skip that part. Probably just eat it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
I guess.
I think that is what I do. I just eat it.
Just eat it. That's all you gotta do sometimes.
I like a nice crispy fried egg on top of. You ever had Loco Moco?
I don't think so.
White rice with burger patty, brown gravy, season it however, and then a nice crispy fried egg up on top with a nice little runny yolk. It's really good. It's a Hawaiian dish.
Okay. You know, I wish I liked Eggs Benedict a little bit more than I do. It's not bad.
I was with you one time that you ordered that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a brave decision. I don't know why. But
it's not bad, but I also don't like it as like I wish I liked it a little more, you know?
Yeah. They look cool, and I wish I would order them, but I don't.
Yeah.
But
too many egg dishes. Yeah.
Too many egg.
A long egg. Classic.
Were we talking about that?
Like a week ago, yeah.
I forgot what that was.
Oh, time is a loop. Let's talk about eggs. Over and over and over and over again.
I think it's been a good 10 minutes.
It's the egg.
Solid egg.
The egg talk section in this one's pretty popping off.
Right at the end. Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have to land this egg or what?
Yeah, we probably should crash it down.
Yeah, we
retrieve it.
I was gonna say we can retrieve it, and then we can figure out if it's a. What's the other acronym for the one that we make?
Aerial reproduction vehicles.
ARV. Okay. Yeah.
ARG.
Grehicles.
I don't know why, but I was like, egg, G. Aerial reproduction, G.
I mean, the proportion of G to the rest of the word, yeah, like G wins out, you know, like statistically.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was just trimming the fat. It's just the yolk. Aerial reproduction yolks.
Yeah.
Go yolks.
Go yolks. Yeah, so I don't know. His interview's interesting. It's interesting that there's a bunch of people talking about stuff, but like Ross kind of brought up is like a lot of people that doesn't. It seems weird, and it seems like it could be fishy, you know, in whatever way you want it to be, which I don't disagree with. I don't know. It's. I'm not saying.
But then, what do you do with that?
Nothing.
It's like a nothing burger.
Yeah, that's like. And then, well, yeah, some people are like, I've heard multiple people like recently make predictions like it's gonna be 20. It's gonna be like some date in like 2025. I saw some podcast that I only listen to occasionally because it's kind of annoying. But the title was like disclosure 60 days away. But like some guest was saying, I'm like, well, I should listen to that because it's probably gonna be dumb. Maybe I will tomorrow. But stuff like that, and it's like, I also don't get what people would expect from that either. So you got these people talking. To me, that would seem like a type of disclosure where you're saying all this stuff that's never been told, and you have people in Congress talking about stuff. But it could be a deep, dark trick, and then the next thing could be also a even deeper trick that's even can't even see it. Where is it? It's too dark in here. Yeah, I guess I'm saying this to say, like, I don't know what people would want anyway. Like, what would people expect or need, or yeah.
You need like to go to an air show. Instead of the Blue Angels, you got the Blue Eggs, and you got the psionics sitting in there.
Yeah,
they show you how to do it.
They're locked the fuck in.
Yeah, they show you how it's being done. They let you touch it.
Yeah.
This is the egg.
Step right up and kiss the egg. 50 cents. We're running a sale right now. It's only a nickel.
And none of your hair falls out.
Step right up, kiss the egg, have your skin lop off.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Last kiss you'll ever have.
With lips.
Yep, no more lips.
Stick to the side. Yeah, you can't even get them back either. They won't let you get them back.
No, it's just covered in lips. It's just
a donation
disgusting.
to the program.
You have to have a guy come like at night and like scrape off all the lips from the egg. It's a living. Because he's a dinosaur. It's the Flintstones.
Oh man, what if the dinosaurs are in there?
Oh.
Did the egg have the dinosaur, or did the dinosaur have the egg?
Tune in next week to find out.
Anywho.
Yeah. Well, things are interesting. People talking about eggs and aliens and aliens and eggs. And that's a great mix. That's fun. I'm sure there'll be more stuff this year of people coming out saying they got some other kind of, look at this placenta in the sky. I got this. I saw a swarm of roe flying around up there.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge.
Could be, or tiny if they're a little roe.
That's true.
We'll find out. Yeah.
It's cookie time.
It's cookie time.